So the Bengals Ring of Honor has officially been chosen. The two new players who are joining the Ring of Honor on Monday Night Football, Week 3 versus the Los Angeles Rams, Boomer Esiason and Chad Ochocinco. So it was not Corey Dillon. The fans chose not to go with Corey Dillon. I know he's probably going to have more comments we're going to talk about in the future after the choice. But in all honesty, everyone on that list that they listed deserves to be in. And as Boomer Esiason said recently, you know what? Everyone will have their day where they get in the Hall. I'm sorry, not in the Hall, in the Ring of Honor. Hall of Fame too, but Ring of Honor especially. So let's go ahead and talk about Boomer Esiason. Boomer Esiason was a former second-round pick in the 1984 NFL Draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. He was a 1988 AP MVP, a 1988, and I'm not sure with all these older, Player of the Year, I think. Yeah, Player of the Year. 1995 Walter Payton, and then something Player of the Year, and then something MVP. He also, of course, played for the Cincinnati Bengals from 1984 to 1997. Went ahead and played for the New York Jets from 1993 to 1995. And then the Arizona Cardinals in 1996. His overall record with the Bengals was 80-93. With 247 touchdowns, 184 interceptions, 37,920 yards. Also, he accumulated 2,235 fantasy points if you are a fantasy head. Back then, though, fantasy football really wasn't a thing. It was technically because people would do it with their friends, in their basement or something like that, but it wasn't as developed as it is nowadays. His rookie season with the Cincinnati Bengals, he went 3-1. Well, he had 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and 530 yards. Wouldn't be to his second season that he really progressed into a true starter. As first season, he only played 10 games and started 4 of them. In his second season, he played 15 games, started 4 of them, and went 7-7. Keep in mind that the amount of games is not the same as it is nowadays. This is back in '84. In his second season as a full starter here, he 3,443 yards and 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, which is actually pretty dang amazing because the passing game back then was not like it is nowadays. His third season, he played 16 games, started 16 games, so a whole entire season. 10-6, 3,959 yards, 24 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. So I guess technically it was, technically 16 games still. But it wasn't like it is nowadays where it's 17 games. He went ahead and went 10-6. 3,959 yards, 24 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. His third season, he went 3-9, playing only 12 games. 3,321 yards, 16 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He would win, and I think this is, MVP award in 1988 after posting a 12-4 record with the Bengals, 3,572 yards. He also won, is this playback or comeback player? No, this is Pro Bowl. Okay, so trying to see all the different ones. So, not bad. He also won, he was second in Offensive Player of the Year. Following that up, he had a pretty up and down career overall wise. Playoff record, he was 3-2 in the playoffs. He did have 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions in his playoff debuts, which was 3 different games in 1988. In 1990, he had 3 touchdowns and decent in his 1990 debut. Overall, very honored to see him in the Ring of Honor for the Cincinnati Bengals here. He actually went to college in Maryland. Interesting. I did not know that. All right. The second guy we're talking about today, who is now the brand new Ring of Honor player. Guy I personally watched growing up. So, I'm not old enough to watch Boomer Esiason or see him play live. I was actually born in 96, and he retired in 97. So, Chad Ochocinco. Chad Johnson. Pretty much my whole entire childhood was Chad Johnson and Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson. So, the 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He played for the Bengals from 2001 to 2010. Then he played for New England Patriots in 2011. He was drafted in the second round, 36th overall draft in 2001 by the Cincinnati Bengals. And he played majority of his career with the Cincinnati Bengals. Where his rookie year, he would only play 12 games, start 3 of them, and have 329 yards and 1 touchdown. Before absolutely capturing the world with his amazing talent. As in his second year, he played 16 games, only started 14 of them, but had 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns. Third season would go ahead and have 16 games, start only 14 of them, but have 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. His next 4 years, he would be all 16 games and start all 16 games, accumulating a total of, and let me just go ahead and do this math real fast for you guys. In those, since once he became a full-time starter, 33 touchdowns, 5,515 yards in 64 games, starting and playing all 64 games once he became a starter. And then, of course, injuries would happen. He only played 13 games in 2008. He did also hit 30 years old and only started 10 of them. 540 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then it kind of went downhill as he got older. Usually how it works when it comes to players, who get a little bit older. But even when he was 31 years old in 2009, he still had a Pro Bowl nod and a 1,000-yard season, getting 9 touchdowns. Absolute monster of a player for the Cincinnati Bengals. And a player I, again, watched growing up. So it's one of those things where it's like, when you go through the list of players that, are on this Ring of Honor list, Corey Dillon I watched growing up, and I also watched Chad Ochocinco. So, kind of like, okay, well, dang, man, that's some players I watch. But overall, not bad. Very good choices, I feel like. And as Boomer Esiason said before to Corey Dillon, and to everyone else on the list, you will have your day where you join this list. And it's going to take some time, obviously, maybe some years, but everyone will get in. So, it's all good. It's not like the Hall of Fame where Bengals get snubbed out of it. This is actually a list that the Bengals will, if you're a good, amazing Bengal, you will get on this list. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next one.